Welcome back to REM CON Raiders. This is the nitro burning action from these 2-stroke 1/10 scale nitro trucks. REM CON Raiders means remote control raiders, firewalls, water jumps and Death Valley. Radio controlled action at its best on this purpose-built track. There are 6 teams here today, and this is round 1 of the Knockout Championship of REM CON Raiders. Down by the track is Sophie.
Here I am back on the dirty track that has been causing chaos to the drivers in the last few shows. I'll be grabbing each racer after each event to find out how they feel they performed.
Now these cars suffer damage and they also need to be tuned and trimmed, and in the paddock is Michelle Orr.
Now you might say I'm a bit down here in the pits, but not at all, it's the complete opposite. I'm going to be stationed here in between races where the mechanics are mending anything that's wrong with their cars, or maybe just tweaking them, making sure they're ready for the next race. Now there is only a few minutes, and at the end of the time up period, the gate is going to come down. If the mechanics in their cars aren't through the gate when it comes down, they can't be in that race. So be prepared for plenty of tears of joy and of despair.
Now 48 teams have started this championship. In this show we will be seeing 6 teams battling it out to get through to the quarterfinals, but only 3 teams will go through.
Northern Invaders, can you introduce yourselves please?
I'm Keith, and this is Anthony.
We have seen you before, haven't we?
Yes, Anthony was a driver in the previous seat, now he'd be my pit buddy.
Team number 2, please introduce yourselves.
Paul Bullen,
Ian Mackenzie.
And your team is called?
Commander and Money Penny.
Team number 3, Kit and Bits. Would you introduce your names please?
Ashley Bullock.
Confident?
Yes, very.
Good. Fighting talk, we'll be watching out for you. Stampede, can you introduce yourselves?
Claire Stamp.
And Dad John.
And what's the distance?
Well, it's like a little lucky mascot here.
I need all the luck I can get.
You're not feeling too confident about it.
Absolutely, no problem.
Team number 5, we have GT Racing UK. Name?
Ian Evans.
Ian Evans. And how are you guys feeling?
He's nervous, I'm just here for the day out.
Alright, I hope it's a good day out for you. And finally, team number 6, we have the Mitsubishi HPI. Introduce yourselves, guys.
Hi, I'm Adam. And Greg.
And how are you guys feeling?
Well, I'm fine, he's driving. So I'm nervous as hell.
Well, let's see how Team Mitsubishi do later. But here we are working on the cars in the pits. That's not exactly what you want to be doing at this particular moment in time. The purpose-built track here has a Death Valley, that's a T-bone junction. The tabletop's very difficult, high jumps over there through the infamous firewall and then over the water jump. This is what they're racing for, a CML associated gas truck. These are the drivers, they all stand on their podiums to the left-hand side of the track. You can see the track laid out in front of them. They have the 30-second balls before the start of heat number 1. At the heats, they start at the front, the middle and the back of the grid. Let's see what happens as we get underway. It's Keith Bellamy out front, but car number 2, Paul Bullen, overhauls the lead. Paul Bullen nerfs the sidewall there, allowing Keith Bellamy back in, but Paul Bullen now has a 5-foot lead. You can see him going through that wonderful firewall, just torching the underside of these trucks over the water jump. There is the Mitsubishi of Adam Skelding, but it is Paul Bullen from Keith Bellamy from Adam Skelding after lap number 1. This is the onboard camera. Another mistake there from Keith Bellamy, and in the background Mitsubishi coming off the track. You will see the marshals around the outside of the circuit. Their job is to put back on stricken vehicles similar to that one of Keith Bellamy. But it is still Paul Bullen coming over the start and finish line. Nicely trimmed out car. You can see that these cars, some fly better than others. That particular car is literally all over the show, making up the back there. I think that might be Ross Evans, but it is nevertheless Paul Bullen from Keith Bellamy, Adam Skelding. Not much happening up the front end, but how long will that last? I think a lot of it will come down to tyre choice, and I'm joined by our expert Chris Kennedy.
Very good point, Russ. One of the most important characteristics of tuning these stadium trucks up and driving them around a track like this is in the tyres. The tyre selection is critical. It's like going out into the snowy conditions with carpet slippers on. If you've got the wrong tyres on your vehicle, it's a bit of a no-no on a surface like this.
Well, thanks, Chris, but it is Keith Bellamy still out front on heat number 1. And remember, there are 3 heats. Your results from the 3 heats are added up to give you your final grid position in the grand final at the end of the show. And again, the heats are there to help you learn the track, pick the right tyres, pick the right selection settings. Also on the radios, there's a myriad of different things that can be set up. A mistake from Keith Bellamy, but fortunately he manages to stay on the track. This is Adam Skelding in Team Mitsubishi weaving himself through Death Valley, but it's Keith Bellamy that comes over to take the win in Heat 1. But well done to second place man Ashley Bullock there, capitalising on mistakes by Paul Bullen, and Adam Skelding in third.
I'm here in the paddock with kits and bits, and I can say there certainly is a lot of bits. If you just take a look down here, look at all these tyres. We've got knobbly ones, we've got straight ones. I'm not going to pretend to know what any of them do, but they're still working, and we've got about 25 seconds to go. Are you going to be done in 25 seconds?
Hopefully so, yeah.
And do you need all these tyres?
Well, they're for like different compounds, different surfaces that we race on, so it depends what track we're racing on.
I mean, this is a dirt track, so you've gone for 2 separate ones at the front and back.
We're experimenting at the moment, so...
Experimenting in the race?
Yeah, because last race it weren't handling very well, so we're just trying another set of tyres.
And you think this time you've got it set, you've got it working? And
if we get it nailed, we're going to cane it. So.
Oh, quick! Oh, they're coming. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, let's go follow them.
Well, the mechanics make their way up onto the grid. A few final tweaks for the motors. The drivers take their positions on the podiums, and the trucks go out for the warm-up lap prior to the start of Heat 2. You can see the look of concentration. We have Adam Skelding in pole position on the front row this time, and next to him is John Stamp. Let's see who gets away first. It's Adam Skelding. A blinding start by the Mitsubishi over the jump onto the tabletops, round the outside of turn 2 and over the firewall. Let's see what happens as they come over through the fire. It looks to me like Paul Bullen is in second position. Adam Skelding leaping off to the right hand side over the wall to jump. It's first and second, battling it out round the turn 4. Who will come over the line first? Is Adam Skelding from Paul Bullen from Keith Bellamy. What a blinding race. That looks like John Stamp conking out. No, sorry, that could be Ross Evans with an electrics problem, but it is Adam Skelding going through the fire, followed by Paul Bullen.
Now, these trucks can actually go very quickly. They're capable of speeds of up to about 50 miles per hour given a long enough straight.
Well, he won't be getting up to 50 miles an hour by doing that. It's complete carnage down there. We're looking at Paul Bullen coming round T-boning the Mitsubishi of Adam Skelding, and then round the outside, just coming into shot, will probably be Keith Bellamy there. All 3 cars completely totaling each other, but it looks like Paul Bullen in car number 2 is now out front, followed by Adam Skelding, and then Keith Bellamy in third position. This is 1, 2, 3. You can see the look of concentration here as they come over that start and finish line. It's Paul Bullen from Mitsubishi, from Keith Bellamy as they come up. Oh, we have a stop and go penalty here. That looks like a stop and go penalty for Ashley Bullock. That could have been for an infringement of going around the wrong way at Death Valley. But either way, it's this man, Paul Bullen, who is out front at the moment in heat number 2. He has lapped everyone up to a big mistake there. He catches the back of Ashley Bullock's car, and it looks like Adam Skelding has unlapped himself in the Mitsubishi. But there, let's have a look at that mistake by Paul Bullen. Mounts the top of car number 5. That's actually Ross Evans. The Mitsubishi unlaps himself round outside. The question is, can Keith Bellamy take the lead again? I would say yes. I think Keith Bellamy has now taken the lead from Paul Bullen. There we are, Keith Bellamy from Paul Bullen from Adam Skelding. But this man, Paul Bullen, made a big mistake there. Let's see if that cost him dearly later on. Round the outside goes Paul Bullen. Chasing down our race leader Keith Bellamy, but Ross Evans is in the pit for a 10-second stop and go penalty. That was for creating problems just after the firewall, but it's Keith Bellamy out front from Paul Bullen with Adam Skelding in third position. You could see John Stamp there coming through over the jump. Keith Bellamy making a mistake, but nevertheless, that is Keith Bellamy, our current race leader, going through the firewall. There will only be 5 minutes after this race for everybody to get ready for Heat 3. You can see the firewall causing all sorts of trouble for different teams. But it is this man, Keith Bellamy, rounding the outside now of turn number 4, who takes the win in heat number 2 and crashes into one of our trackside cameras. But let's take a look at the final leaderboard. Keith Bellamy from Paul Bullen, from Adam Skelding, and Ross Evans broke down.
Northern Invaders, you won again, but I see you have a problem.
Yes, I think I went a little bit more enthusiastic down the straight, doing the victory, past the victory flag, and caught the guard fence, but it's repairable, ready for the next.
Shame, were you doing a lap of honour?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to show off a little bit.
You're going to get it fixed in time?
No problem.
Right, you get picked because you don't want to hold you off your responsible.
Oh, things aren't looking good here for Mitsubishi. It looks like their car may have had it. Talk us through what has happened.
I don't want to. No comment to make.
No, we need to know all the juicy bits.
It sounds like the gearbox is packed up. We took a bad jump and that's it.
And you think it's had it? That does sound like quite a serious problem.
Well, I suppose we could miss the next race and strip the gearbox and see if we can repair it in time for the last one, but that probably puts us out of the running, so.
Oh, well, you don't know. Like you say, you've got 3 heats and we've got a final, so.
Well, we'll give it a shot.
Well, REM CON Raiders at its best, very confusing, dicing, spills, flame and smoke. Make sure you join us for more of this action after the break. Welcome back to some of the biggest, baddest action in motorsport. There are no human beings inside, no one to get hurt, so consequently these drivers are going for it. Let's see what happens in Heat 3.
And for the first time, we have a team that's trapped in the pit. Team Mitsubishi will not be in the next race because I'm afraid the gatekeeper's spoken, the gate's down, and they're out of here. Wave them goodbye.
Well, Michelle is looking very, very happy with herself. This is heat number 3. You can see all the trucks are currently online on the grid. You can see on the right, Team Mitsubishi still tinkering with it. In fact, Team Mitsubishi have taken up position on the grid. That is highly controversial. They shouldn't have been in this heat at all. They were trapped in the paddock. We'll have to have a look at that and see if we can get an adjudication on that at the end of the heat. Adam Skelding in Mitsubishi taking an early lead, coming through an enormous burst of flame. Mitsubishi, as I say, should not be in this race. We will have to get an adjudication on that later on. But it looks like Keith Bellamy is coming over in the lead, followed by John Stamp. But Keith Bellamy, our current race leader in heat number 3. But the handling of these cars very much dictated by tyres, but not just the tyres. There is actually a foam insert inside. Let's talk to our expert Chris Kennedy.
Yes, you can change the performance of the tyres by changing the inserts, the foam or rubber inserts inside the tyre. A harder insert, it's just like putting PSI inside your real family car using on the roads, or a softer insert gives you more grip, but they get very warm and the performance goes off within about 3 minutes.
But there was a 10-second stop and go penalty for Paul Bullen because he joined the grid actually, and he's actually stopped. Paul Bullen has stopped on one of the tabletops. It looks totally terminal. We'll see whether he gets going again. Adam Skelding again, who should not be in this race, is now mounted by car number 5. That's Ross Evans. It's complete carnage out there, but Keith Bellamy is still a race leader. You can see him totally focused and the job in hand. Adam Skelding, though, is closing down now on Keith Bellamy, and Keith Bellamy inside the Armco. Something went completely wrong for him. The marshals there, you can see the marshal's job is to replace the trucks should anything go wrong, and it looks like Keith Bellamy is now behind Adam Skelding, but Keith Bellamy will not know that Adam should not be in this race. There's a car going the wrong way over the firewall. Everything is going completely wrong and mad in heat number 3, but I think Keith Bellamy is fairly secure out front at the moment. That is Adam Skelding in the Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi rounding turn number 3, coming back through Death Valley over the top of the water jump, followed by Keith Bellamy. It's the red car of Adam Skelding, Keith Bellamy and John Stamp as they come into the closing stages of this heat number 3. Adam Skelding keeping it on the brown stuff. I've got to laugh because he shouldn't be in this race. They were actually trapped by Michelle fair and square, and I'm not going to say they cheated, but they must have done something outside of the rules because they shouldn't be here. And it's the car in number 2, Keith Bellamy, who actually should take the race win. So let's take a look at the final results. We've got Adam Skelding in position number 1, Keith Bellamy in 2, and John Stamp in 3.
Bit of controversy happening now over car number 6. Would you like to explain, Doug?
Car number 6 was in the sump of the pits. It was the guillotine came down, and as the time elapsed, they shouldn't have come up from there onto the racetrack, so they are eliminated from this particular race.
We've got to object to that. We were being interviewed by one of your fine interviewees, and that took longer than we thought.
It's a fair point.
Perhaps chatting to ladies is not quite race meeting. There is a dictate about it. Can't do.
Are you saying it's their fault that they should have said, listen, I'm not doing the interview, I have to get the car?
Surely not.
Keith and Anthony, you are the daddies of show 4 so far. How are you feeling?
Really good. Let's just hope that we can keep it up for the final, because that's the one that really matters. We've had reliability throughout this morning, and I hope it will continue into the final.
You're just holding it in so well. He's so excited right now.
Well, we're used to winning now. So
you're all pros at this then? Yeah?
good call was that.
But you have no fear for winning the final one?
Yeah, well, I'm the driver. You can stand on the sideline and watch. It's me that does the business. And I'm getting a little pretty tensed up.
Well, I think that Anthony's sending out positive energy anyway, so you're bound to get these vibes coming through.
Well, I hope they do come through for the final as well.
Well, that's very sporting of Keith Bellamy. Let's have a look at this grid. Remember, this is an amalgamation of all the results from the 3 heats. Keith Bellamy on pole, Paul Bullen on 2, and Adam Skelding on 3. Those are the 3 to look out for. But remember, only 3 go through to the quarter-final stages of REM CON Raiders. The pressure is on, and this is a staggered grid. We have the amber light. Let's see what happens. Keith Bellamy on pole at the green. Keith Bellamy cuts in front of Paul Bullen, but it's Keith Bellamy now from Adam Skelding. Adam Skelding is on a mission. Adam has put the hammer down, but it is Keith Bellamy out front through the firewall. Adam Skelding trying to close that gap down as they come through Death Valley. Over the water jump goes Keith Bellamy. Adam Skelding is in second. Ross Evans in third. Paul Bullen in fourth. And remember, that fourth is the bump spot. Complete carnage at Adam Skelding. Has a 10-foot lead over the Mitsubishi of Adam Skelding. Over the start and finish line we go. Keith Bellamy from Adam Skelding, and third position at the moment is anybody's guess. Everyone is getting torched in the fire.
You can see them cars flying through the fire there, Russ. No damage at all. They're going through so quickly. The vehicles won't catch fire. If they do, then we have, I believe, 1/10 little fire engines that can catch them up and put them out.
So to interrupt Chris, but Adam Skelding has now taken the lead from Bellamy. It is Adam Skelding in the lead now of the final. Remember, only the top 3 go through. It looks to me as though Keith Bellamy will be going through. The question is, who will be taking the third position? Will it be Paul Bullen or any of the other 3? Let's have a look at there. John Stamp, there we are, currently in that 4th position. Can he pump Paul Bullen out the way? The Mitsubishi almost again on the roof. It really is all about setup. That seems to be the crucial factor. The Mitsubishi actually is quite set up quite well. This car looks a little bit out of control. What do you think, Chris?
Well, basically, Russ, you could go on and on and on now to set these trucks up. You've got to look at things like tyres and inserts, springs, camber, ride height, tweak, droop, sway bars, toe in, toe out, one ways, the shock mounting positions, the shock oil inside, there's shock absorbers, the wheelbase, the caster, the anti-squat, the kick-up, the roll centre. Just a few things to think about.
Well, thanks for that, Chris. Certainly a bit of a mouthful, but meanwhile, this is Adam Skelding now certainly looking like a race winner to me. A very, very dominant position. That's our second place man, Keith Bellamy. It's Paul Bullen currently in third position. The question is, as I said before, can John Stamp try and bump him from that third spot? The Mitsubishi is upside down, but the marshals are back on it. Can John Stamp, let's have another look at this slow-mo replay as he goes over the water jump. You can see that if the water got inside of these cars, it would be fairly terminal. That is Paul Bullen currently in third position. This is the Mitsubishi coming towards the end of the race. Paul Bullen in third position, round the outside of turn number 4 for Adam Skelding. The Mitsubishi puts the hammer down. We get the checkered flag. Let's see who comes through in second position. It's going to be Keith Bellamy taking the checkered flag for number 2 and Paul Bullen in third. As I've said before, only 3 go through, so John Stamp, Ross Evans and Ashley Bullock go home.
Adam and Greg, you got your revenge. I bet you love this moment.
Wow, I'll let the driver have a few words this time.
Yeah, nice to get his own back.
Well done to our third place team, Paul Bullen, Ian McKenzie, Commander and Money Penny. In second, Northern Invaders, Keith Bellamy and Anthony Roebuck. But it is Team Mitsubishi, Adam Skelding and Greg Hill who take the honours, first place. Remember, this is round 1. They will be moving forward to the quarterfinals where they will meet other teams that have succeeded to battle their way through from round 1 of REM CON Raiders. Well, as the champagne sprays and the cork pops, some people are out here still having a race around for fun. But the history book will show the Team Mitsubishi won here today. They move forward now into the quarterfinals of the championship. Make sure you look out for the next knockout competition of REM CON Raiders.
REM CON Raiders are back tomorrow at 10:30, but right now they'll soon be voting to enlarge the European Union. If erotica is anything to go by, I vote yes, yes, yes.